Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, in our noisy Napoli series, we possibly have the very last game of the series. Unfortunately, it's come to a very poor ending, and I guess the team just couldn't recover after a poor start. And hopefully, we can do better in our next series. But not all over just yet. So we'll be showing you this game. It's 34 games played, 4 games left. And the reason why we're showing you this game here today against Chievo is the possibility of being sacked, basically. We face off against Chievo, who themselves are in 4th, but that's not necessarily why it's such a huge game. The reason is that we're 50 points, Lazio 61st in the Champions League, which means that there's an 11-point gap, and if we win today, but Lazio win as well, we are unfortunately out of the Champions League mathematically, which means likelihood anyways, I'm not 100% sure if the board will do it or not, but given how disappointed they are, the likelihood is that we will be fired if we're mathematically unable to stay in the Champions League. So yeah, if we win and Lazio lose, they do play Inter, so it's a possibility. Then we're still within the shout for the Champions League spots, but I don't expect Lazio dropping, and even Chievo as well, as 2 teams now who are level on points. Both teams dropping all the points possible. Roma, everyone above us dropping all the points left. Losing every single game they have to the end of the season, and ourselves winning every single one of them. It's just very unlikely. But I thought I'll show you this game here, and if we're somehow not fired, we do face Roma to be fair, then we will show you the Italian Cup final against Fiorentina. So in terms of what happened since that last episode against Barcelona, 4-2 loss. We beat Atlanta 1-0, and that was a good win, but it only came through an own goal, so not too pleasing. We did lose against Genoa 1-0. Jorginho getting sent off in the 64th minute puts us in a very poor position, and Pinala made sure to punish us and secure all 3 points for his team. We beat Inter 2-1 and went through on away goals. Ivan Strinic was sent off in the 3rd minute, but we somehow managed to beat Perisic's effort with a Hamsik penalty and a Marco Rog scoring in the 83rd minute as well. So that was very good, very pleasing moments in a poor time. Unfortunately, it was not followed with more good moments, as Callion managed to score in the 39th minute after Manuel scored for his team. But apparently it wasn't enough, and we couldn't add to it to get through and get all 3 points. Against Juventus, a 1-0 loss isn't the most disappointing thing, but given that Stefano was sent off and there was still 20 minutes for us to turn this game around, it was disappointing that we couldn't do so, even to get just a single point. Against Palermo, a dominating 3-1 win. Patrick opened the scoring for his team, and it looked like they were going to go on to seriously cause us some damage, but thankfully we recovered and scored through Callion and Tonelli just before the break, and then Milik added on in the 58th minute to make things comfortable for us. Sisolo was a disappointing game overall. They managed to score twice in 4 minutes and we couldn't recover from that. Milik scoring the 35th to give us some hope, but unfortunately not enough to actually go on and win the game, or even draw that for that matter. So again, yeah, we'll be facing off Chievo. We have Roma, AC Milan, Pescara in the last 4 games of the league. But yeah, everything could go wrong today, and that's kind of why we're showing you this episode. We may not even get to play in the Italian Cup final. I expect the board to fire me, but if they want to wait and see if we can still get into Europa League spots through the Italian Cup final, that wouldn't surprise me either. But to be honest, I think even if we do win that, get into Europa League, and they keep us on, I think that would be the end of the series. We'll see how it all feels really, but it also depends, how much the board provide me in terms of finances. If I've got like 12 million, that's nothing really to do with, because the first team is what needs improvement. I could buy a bunch of youngsters, but that's not going to really improve the first team. We need some serious talent in terms of adding some depth to our first team squad. But anyways, let's try and face off against Chievo and get 3 points, even if it's our last 3 points, and see what we can do here. So this is the team we'll be going with. We can talk more about it once the players warm up, as we always do. And let's hope for a good 3 points and a nice easy 3 points. Alright, so it looks like the players are ready. Apparently we're not favourites either, which is fair enough. Chievo have played better than us, a whole 11 points ahead of us in the league. Playing a 4-3-1-2, this is going to be very tough to deal with this little threat here. We'll get Zielinski to mark Bursa though, Yeah, Zielinski, Allen, Hamsik, Milik, Kalyon, Rog having to fill in at the left wing spot, because we have two of our left wingers injured, both Mertens and Insigne both getting hurt or in pain or injured rather, and unfortunately that means Rog will have to play out of position. Strinic there taking over from Ghulam, who had a poor game. Koulibaly and Albiol are standard centre backs, as well as Sayed being our right winger, and we're still sticking with Pepe Reina in the league. So hopefully this team's strong enough to deal with it. Our left flank is the weaker flank, but the rest of the team should make up for it. No real opposition instructions. We'll just get Zielinski to man mark the attacking midfielder rather. God knows if he's a playmaker or not. And yeah, just some simple tactical tweaks. So we've got flexible team shape now. We've added the shorter passing instruction, and hopefully that will stand us in good stead today. Yeah, I think that's it. Definitely not favourites when I look at this team talk. So let's just say go out and enjoy yourselves. Could possibly be the last game in my tenure here, so why not have a little bit of fun? But yeah, if anyone's looking for a really good striker, then Milik is definitely your man. He's just had a great season for us. I mean, you saw we've had a terrible season overall, but he's still the one with double figures in terms of goals to his name. Especially Serie A, 21 starts, 16 goals is a good thing. I mean, 10 off the bench kind of puts a dent in that, but overall, you don't really expect someone to really score off the bench, maybe once or twice, but 21 starts, 16 goals, 3 assists, 4 penalties, and 3 player of the matches. So he's been important to us, and he's definitely not the finished product, but he's a top centre forward without doubt, and he does that complete forward role really well. Okay, so let's hope we get to see some highlights soon. Looks like we're dominating the early proceedings in terms of the stats, but like I always say, the only stat that matters is this one here in the top left corner. Having said that, that's a decent corner, but not enough to do any damage here. But Strinic has an opportunity to put a good one to the box. He passes it to Zielinski. Will he put a good cross in? No, back to Strinic, and then back to Zielinski, and he switches sides. But unfortunately, as I said, is caught out, but Albiol's there to cover. He puts in an even worse ball in, and suddenly Chievo are through, and it's 2v2 by the looks of things here. If my defense can get sorted out, it's going to be even worse. They don't, unfortunately. Bersa finds Inglis in. There you go. That's Chievo's first goal, caught out on the counter after a corner. And that is some seriously sketchy and poor defending. As you can see, the fans are just absolutely disappointed with our recent performances. The stadium's never been emptier since I've taken over. I think when I first started off, there were a lot of blue fans there, and now they're just blue in terms of their mood. Alright, another highlight, that's great. Hopefully in our favour this time though. Having said that, Chievo are the one starting it, and it's Rigoni on the ball for his team here. Finds his teammate Castro. No one necessarily shutting him down, but Allen finally puts in the tackle, and Hamsik tries to send Milik on his way. Decent ball, Milik's gotten there. He finds Rog, and Rog takes a first time shot and it's in. I thought it was going to hit the post and go out, but that's one hell of a first time shot. We're going to get a nice little replay of this as well. Milik does incredibly well to find his team and make something out of nothing there. And Rog, just all the praise for that shot that completely catches a goalkeeper off guard. The opposition fullback who's supposed to be marking him thinks nothing's happening here. I'm going to give him an inch of space, and Rog punishes him for even trying to think of giving him an inch of space. But hopefully he keeps giving him more inches. No pun intended. And Rog can keep punishing him. Alright, first yellow card for my team. Zielinski injured. Zielinski yellow carded. It's Rog who's injured, and we don't have anyone on the bench who can play on the left wing anymore. We're seriously running out of people here. There you go, it's only Kalyon. I think we can squeeze Hamsik there. I think we're going to have to be forced into this move. So move Hamsik there. Zielinski as an advanced player, as a shadow striker rather. And we'll have to play Diawara and as a deep line playmaker. And there you go, we're just absolutely out of our depth. Players playing in wrong positions all over the pitch. We do well. Our goal scorer having to come off there is not pleasing at all. Just bear in mind, even if we win this game, we might not necessarily still get Champions League football. So, like I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, we need Lazio to lose. I think even a draw is not enough, so we need them to lose against Inter for us to still be mathematically in contention. But I doubt if we win and Lazio win, or even draw for that matter, that the board will still keep me on. It'll be interesting to see how they respond. I think they've been a bit more impatient than Valencia's board. Having said that, that's Chievo's second goal, and it's the same man to punish us with a very similar piece of play there. Too easy to find players and put in the good through ball there. Look at that. Completely free. Left by Koulibaly as well as Strinic, just absolutely allowed to play however he wants. Just want to make sure Diawara is still... Who's he man marking then? Alright, so there shouldn't be any issues. Why is that even happening? Either way, 2-1 to Chievo as we go into half time, despite the stats looking a little bit in our favour. Chievo put in a good performance away from home here, and we'll have to put in a better one in the second half. Let's see if telling them off will help. We'll also go into attacking, and let's see if that helps. Callion having a terrible game as well, and that's a bit unusual. He was kind of our hero in the last game. Zielinski though, they draws in the foul from Rigoni, and we're going to have a chance to do some damage here from the set piece. And it is Milik who's taking it. Is he going to go for the shot or the cross? Goes for the cross, dealt with easily though, and Callion's on the ball here, and he goes for the shot instead. That's a decent save from the goalkeeper Sorrentino. There we go, our corner. Can we score from this one? Near post flick dealt with easily. I think I have to switch up our corner tactics because that near post flick on is really not working. I want to have a quick look at it actually. Sorry just to bother you guys, but no, I want the actual corner. Okay, attacking, not defending. I think I have to have him attacking the near post. Yeah, not standing on the near post. Oh, I can't believe I missed that entirely. I've been playing with so many games with that set piece and it hasn't worked, and I've been wondering why, so maybe we'll see a little bit of a tweak here that will help us. Because it said near post, my brain just, accepted it as being the right thing to do, but I completely forgot to actually change it to attack to near post, which is what we need him to do. We've got the set piece set on delivery to the near post. Oh, there you go, Chievo getting player sent off. I'm going to do something really stupid here. Something I've never done before at least, and go straight into overload in order to try and grab ourselves a goal. Since they're playing with man down, you already know they're going to go into contain and try and keep the ball and play defensive. I mean, look at that, that's an immediate switch there. So I think we should go into overload immediately to try and counter them playing it safe. Alright, 60th minute, and there's nothing to show. No one necessarily needs to come off either, so we'll keep on playing and hope this team's good enough to do something here. Sorrentino for his team. Cesar squares it off to Danieli. Can we put some pressure? Nah, some decent one by Zielinski, but not enough. Sayed though picks up the goalkeeper's distribution, and Diawara finds Hamsik really well. What can he do here? Takes his man on. Good ball into Milik, and there's the 2-2. And can we still come away with 3 points here? It's Chievo, our man down. The fans are celebrating wildly, whoever is actually here. Half the stadium looks empty in truth. I think that's the weird thing about Napoli. They have about 70k stadium size, and it's only ever filled up to about 40k max I've ever seen, to be honest. They're supposed to be one of the most supported Italian clubs, so it's a bit unusual. I think maybe it's only the big games where they really show up, but either way. I did hear that the Napoli stadium's a very old stadium that hasn't been renovated in a long time. I also read that in Italy they don't necessarily have the same, you know, stadium tours kind of thing that we have here in England. So if you were to go to any real stadium, to be honest, like Liverpool Stadium, Arsenal, Tottenham, they have stadium tours. Callion makes it 3-2, and maybe we are yet to win. Did score from a set piece, that's good to see. We'll go back to control, no real need to exert ourselves. We have turned the result around, thankfully to Chievo getting a man sent off. And I think from now on we can kind of just cruise through the game and maybe grab another one, a fourth one, as Chievo going to have to come out here. Good set piece delivery from Zielinski though. Milik helps it on to Callion, who always takes his shots first time. I seriously advise anyone who's playing, you know, wingers, or I think any attacking position, to be honest, to take their shots first time. It's so frustrating how some of your players will overthink, you know, taking shots. They just waste too much time trying to looking for the pass, for example, or trying to take the time to set themselves up properly. Just set them on take first time shots. Chievo showing though that they are not ready to completely roll over just yet. Maybe we can look at making some substitutions now. Nope, apparently not. No one really tired, no one necessarily having a poor game. Some quiet players like Diawara coming off the bench in the 30th minute and still having a relatively disappointing game. Zielinski, for example, a bit of a quiet performance from these players. And Chievo are not ready to die off just yet. Can we win the ball back though and counter them? I want to just check if we're still man marking, because if they don't have an attacking player, then what's the point? No, he's not really man marking anyone, so let's get rid of that. And let's see what Chievo are trying to do here. Alright, Strinch goes in for the tackle well and sends Milik on his way. Is he going to go solo? Incredible. You can see it happening, and it's just such a good bit of play from Milik. Fair play to Rulam, Strinic rather, not Rulam, for that pass down to Milik in the channels, and fair play to Milik for he does really well to find his man. Looks like he's just had his face down the whole time and put in a cross, but I know in real life at least that you won't be able to find a player like that unless you actually look up before crossing. Zielinski celebrates, and suddenly his performance goes from quiet to a fine game capped with a goal. Milik with all 3 assists. Hamsik managing to get himself on the assist boards as well. 4-2 win though, and maybe the save isn't over just yet. We're going to get a chance to see how our corner is now. I think, well, there you go, that's a clear-cut chance, but it still felt like Koulibaly wasn't really attacking the near post for some reason. It felt like he was still standing there. But yeah, at least we did create a clear-cut chance from that. But the first one of the game, mind you. Having said that, just one clear-cut chance at the end there and 2 half chances, and we still managed to come out with a 4-2 result. Lazio, they seem to have won their game. So there you go. 3 games left, 9 points possible. So there's no way we're catching up to Lazio, and close the gap a little bit to Chievo. But I think when I press the spacebar now, we're going to be fired. It's going to save, and then we should be fired. I think, I'm assuming the board will fire me once it's mathematically impossible. Having said that, maybe they'll want to see if we can get into Europa League spots, and that's still on the board. Especially if we beat Roma there, who are just 3 points away. But let's see what the board do here. Okay, apparently we're okay. Maybe the board still haven't. I think they might still be waiting till the end of the season. But yeah, I don't think we'll show you any other Serie A games. You have Roma. I mean, I showed you the schedule, but I think if we still are here by the time we reach the cup final, then maybe we can end the save with hopefully a cup final win. But yeah, I think that's all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then of course please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always guys, thank you all very much for watching.